Hello friends! Today we are going to get chopping a few different plants. I have 3 different things that I want to chop up for 3 different reasons, and I figured why not put them all into one video. We can chop them together. It is boiling here today, hence the tank top. I hope I don't start sweating in the middle of this video because that would suck. But yeah, it's hot. Needed a chill sort of activity for today, and that's what we've got going on. Before we get into it, I want to say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos, and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate you returning. Now let's get into these things. I guess I can talk about what I'm chopping and why to begin. First off, I've decided that I'm going to chop and reset entirely my anthurium crystallinum. So in my video a couple ago of plants I want to declutter, this was on the list, and someone actually commented on that video, why don't you just like chop it back and reset it? And I'm like, oh, that's actually a brilliant idea that I don't need to get rid of it. I can try and grow it again and see if I can grow it in a shape that's not this shape, because this is an awful shape. And then in my sort of updates video, I also found that this one has thrips. Not loads, it's only had a couple and I've kind of just been squishing them with my hands. But you know the best way to get rid of thrips? Chop it up and throw it in the bin. And because I was planning on resetting this one anyway, I was like, cool, I don't need to treat it for thrips, I'm just gonna cut it. And that will be that for the anthurium crystallinum. And we can start over. I very rarely chop things back to absolutely nothing to start over. That is it's not really my go-to with things. So looking forward to doing that. The next thing that I am going to chop, this one I want to chop and propagate. This is my philodendron Florida Ghost, and it has gotten very, very long and big. Again, I had this in my decluttering video. I figured I could make something slightly nicer with it. I can propagate these. There's lots of actually quite good leaves on here, so I can chop and prop it. I can check on this air layering that I did ages ago that I haven't looked at or watered in months, and we can try to start this one. And basically I could imagine it doing really well on a moss pole as a sort of multi-vine thing. I think I wouldn't really like it just as one single vine going up, because it's very sort of sparse. I don't know, it just doesn't feel like the right vibe to leave it as it is. So gonna chop it up node by node and propagate those, and we can hopefully get a fuller plant out of that in a few months. So I guess I'm kind of resetting that one as well, but I'm not getting rid of, I don't think this one has thrips. Yeah, I'm not getting rid of the cuttings of this one like I am the crystallinum. Yeah, this one doesn't have thrips. This is just burn marks from where it was touching the grow light, which it does regularly. So yeah, that's gonna be a chop and prop situation. And then let me change this up a little bit. It's absolutely time to chop and extend. Well, I've already done the extend bit and technically kind of the chop bit, but I need to divide up my monstera dubia because it's gotten a little bit excessively tall. It is taller than me. I don't have space for it in its current spot, and I feel like there's a nice gap kind of in the middle, and so I have preemptively made a cut in there and let that callus over for ages in hopes that when I chop this up it will do fine. And so now that it's been a few probably a few weeks chopped like this, and I've been trying to keep this moss pole nice and moist. I can now just chop it at that point and just have a bit of a smaller one, because I mean, while the leaves at the bottom are fine, they're not as big and beautiful as these leaves at the top, because like, look at this. Is that not insane? It also did, which I think is fairly normal for me, whenever I do something with this plant, it decides to throw a fit and like drop the topmost leaf. So this one here was the topmost leaf on it, and so it's dropped that, unfortunately. Maybe it'll do it again when I do this, but hopefully, because this one's already, sorry, just sphagnum moss. I'm like worried about thrips, though I don't have thrips in that room as far as I know, knock on wood. And hopefully I won't after this. Yeah, I should probably wash my hands, but I'll do the crystallinum first, and then we can get on to these guys and carry on with that. But lots of chopping. We're getting very scissor happy. Let's set up for the first thing. Okay, so I could try and chop this with scissors, but I can't even, my scissors can't even get wide enough to go around the whole thing. It is quite thick, this stem. It's also got a lot of like old dead caterpillars on it. Which I can take off. That'll make it easier, less layers to cut through. But I don't think I'm going to be able to chop it through with scissors, so I have also grabbed myself a knife. Be very careful with knives, kids. And I'm just going to spray it with isopropyl alcohol to sanitize it and clean it, just to make sure it's nice and clean. I really want a clean cut in here, because I would like it to start over, so if I don't want anything like funky getting in there and causing it to rot even more. Not that it's rotted, I don't think. No, it's not rotted in there. And should I just do it? There we go. Oh my god, I've never actually chopped something back so entirely like that. That is freaking crazy. Oh my god, that feels so weird. Okay, hopefully, this will now pop out a sort of new growth point, and it will grow in a slightly nicer way, maybe more upright. I'll pop it in a place where, actually I don't need to do anything too crazy light-wise now, because it doesn't have anything that it can photosynthesize with, so I can just kind of put it wherever for the time being. It doesn't really have like roots coming out the bottom or anything, but I should probably check on them at some point just to make sure that it's not rotten in there. Like I said, that's a problem for a later day. I'm just chopping today. So yeah, I can kind of put this in a place that's not necessarily ideal for other plants, kind of put it away for a little while. And once it starts growing, I will give you an update, and we can hopefully get something nice and new out of this. And then this whole section, I'm gonna throw in the bin. I might chop it up a little bit further just so it fits in the bin, because that's kind of excessive. Goodness. Yeah, so now I've got some nice bin-sized pieces. The thrips will have been dealt with, and I don't need to worry about them anymore. So I'm gonna throw this away and then wash my hands, and we can carry on with the next one. Pulled out my potting mat for this next one because I think, because I have so many like different pieces here, I think I might try a little bit of a prop experiment in order to see what works best for the Florida Ghost. Because I have, like, in general, my track record with, oh my god, this moss is so dry, it's awful. Why was I so, why was I such a bad plant parent here? Oops. I mean, it's actually rooted. But like my track record with sphagnum moss has not been amazing as of late. I don't know why that's been the case, but here's what has rooted from that air layering. So there has been some. I'll pop this one in the sphagnum moss one as well, so it's not got anything different than before. But yeah, like I've just been finding sphagnum moss propping like in cups like I normally used to. Okay, this one's done absolutely nothing. Okay, good. But how I used to prop in just like cups of sphagnum, I don't know why it's just stopped working for me as well. So I don't want to do it again, which I think is fine. I'm really going ham on this all the way. Like, look at all these cuttings. Ah! I've also got a nearly reverted, probably not gonna revert, but nearly reverted Florida Beauty in this pot, which I, like, it's fine. I don't, not that I don't care. Oh, so this past leaf, the previous leaf reverted entirely. But like, I don't feel like I need to have a Florida Beauty. Like, it's just not what I need. I got it as a gift, and so I'm growing it. I could probably sell it for like money, but I don't need to do that either. I'm perfectly happy just having it in this pot with the Florida Ghost. I've left a little bit at the bottom of the plant because I don't want to like give up to nothing with this one, but I'm going to try 3 different methods of propagation on here. So I want to do some in soil because I've been finding soil propagation quite fun lately. I did it for my monstera, like my variegated monstera. I did it for, I've done it for some rhaphidophora, some syntapsis, some epibremnum, some, oh my goodness, I've done it for so many things. Philodendrons, like the heartleaf philodendron. And I found that it works quite well for me. Surprisingly, I just need to make sure that it stays moist enough. That's kind of the key factor with that. It needs to stay way more moist than I would keep the normal plant because I'm trying to get those roots to activate. And then I've also found water propagation fairly easy for me lately as well. So we're gonna do that for them. So do I want to split that? Yeah, I'm gonna split it. And I'm gonna split the colorations between things. I think the top cut would be best in soil. This guy can go in water. This guy will go in moss. Just so we have a nice even split between, wait, where's the one that rooted? The one that rooted doesn't have any leaves on it, so it's going to go in the sphagnum. Just going to do a nice mix of things to see which one works best for me. I mean, I have a feeling it won't be the sphagnum moss ones, unfortunately, but that's okay. I don't need those to work. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me take this one out and pop that in there. Cool. So the ones in water are already there. It's just a cup of water. And then I can do the sphagnum next. And I mean, okay, so tell me if I'm doing it wrong, because I mean, I very well might be. This used to be my absolute favorite way to propagate, just like popping things in a cup of sphagnum. It's worked so well for me in the past. Lately, I don't know what's been going wrong really, but it's just not been ideal. So I'll pop the cuttings in, and previously someone said that it might be that I'm packing it too tight, which is totally fair. I'm kind of more used to packing moss poles now with sphagnum moss, as opposed to prop cups, because like those I tend to pack really tight, whereas propagations need air around their roots, and so if they're not getting air, then it's not worth it. So like I try and not pack it too tight, but I'm also trying to get the sphagnum around the like node, which is hard. So it's like a kind of a weird balance that I'm trying to master. And obviously the other thing is I need to make sure that I never let it get like all the way dry, because that isn't good for it. So this is kind of what we are working with. So I've left some like nice chunks, like nice air gaps. I don't think I've packed it too tight. It is still quite squishy. It's not, I don't know, I feel like I've got a lot of room in there still. So hopefully that will do. So I've got the moss, and then for the soil, you kind of just do it as normal, as you would pot up anything else, except this just doesn't have roots. I should have grabbed, whatever, it's fine. I should have grabbed a soil scoop, because that would make it slightly easier. One thing I found that's been really useful is using clear pots for soil propagation, because then, like, my main issue with soil propagation is not being able to easily see the roots. Like with water, you can kind of just, you can see them. I guess you can kind of pull things out of sphagnum a little bit easier, whereas if you've soil propped, I feel like it's more stress on the plant if you pull it out regularly. So I try and avoid that if possible. But if you have a clear container, you can more easily see if there is root growth going on in there, which hopefully there is. You ideally want root growth so your plant can continue growing. Also, I'm just using monstera and philodendron soil, the sort of soil that I would normally use for this this plant. Nothing sort of different there, and I've just fully popped it in there. I literally just pot it as if I'm doing a repot. That is how I soil propagate. So also, I'd be curious to see which you think will be the most successful. So let me know down below in the comments if you think it'll be the soil, the sphagnum moss, or the water. And we can see in a few weeks' time, maybe a month or so, which one we like the best, which one has done the best and succeeded the most, I guess. So that's good. Now I have 4 different vessels of a plant that I was considering getting rid of entirely, instead of one or none. It's fine. It's worth it for the experiment. It's worth it to hopefully try and get this into a plant that I like better, because I do really like the ghostly leaves of the Florida Ghost. I think they're really nice, the like mintiness on it. Love. So if we can get it to grow well and like kind of be a bushier plant, like multi-stemmed, I feel like that would be better. Okay, it's time to do the dubia. I think I should just take the cling film off for now, because that'll make it easier. probably, maybe. The thing with the dubia is it roots like crazy. Like the entire back of this pole is just covered in roots, like an insane amount. And so it's quite possible that there's roots from the top bit that are going all the way down past the point that I am going to cut. So we're gonna hope that it's fine, I guess. Let me pull out. Yeah. These. So I'm currently cutting off the cable ties that joined the two bottom poles together. And I guess I can just try to just pull it. Because I need to separate these bits. Oh, also it's got roots in there. Okay. What I'm currently doing, so there's obviously roots that are rooted into the bottom pole here. So I'm just trying to trim those off of this section. So I'll hopefully, oh my god, also roots might be going upwards. Oh, this is going to be difficult. Okay, fully detached this piece in there. So hopefully I just like, the difficulty is I can't see what I'm trying to, what I need to cut in order to get this off. Maybe let's do this on top of a potting mat. Maybe I can take some of the moss out from in here. Because I'll need to take it out anyway. And it definitely sounds like I'm just ripping roots. I am. Oh my god. Okay, so there's a crazy root going on in here that goes all the way from up here all the way down, which I will need to trim that as well, unfortunately. Ha ha ha. Okay, yeah, I had it on a stake, which I will move. Oh my god. Ha. That is massive. And now I have this bottom bit, which I probably will end up selling or like giving away or something. Probably selling, because it is quite a lovely plant and will absolutely give you some new growth. I mean, when I got this one, I got it as a cutting, basically like this. Actually, maybe exactly this, because I don't think there's two poles. Yeah, it was just this. And it's grown so much since. So that's fantastic. And now I'm going to take the stake from the old one and just go straight down the middle. That'll hold it more sort of upright, which will be good. And then we can pot this bit into a pot as before. Take out a little bit of this moss. There's still like quite a lot of rootage in there, and all of that will go into the soil now, which is awesome. I am gonna switch this nursery pot because I am partial to a clear one myself, and if I give this to someone else, I would like to keep the clear pot. So let me grab a new pot for that one. We'll be able to see how crazy these roots are as well. Because, I mean, I don't know how well you can see down the bottom there. Come on, focus on that. It is just intensely rooted. So, bink. Easy as, and I'll put some more soil around it. There we go. Easy as. New pot for the bottom half. And gosh, I'm making an absolute mess. This guy. Let's find some cable ties. So that I can attach it. I might take this bottom leaf off. It's not a particularly spectacular leaf anyways. Make it easier to get in as well. There we go. attached to the nursery pot. That is like my favorite thing to do. I cannot stand when a pole's not attached, because I like to lift them by the poles. I find that's the easiest way to pick something up that is on a pole. It's by the pole. And yes, sometimes once they are like properly rooted into the pole and the pot, you don't need to have it attached and it'll be fine. But especially early on, when it's not like rooted into the soil and like really like holding itself in on its own, it can have issues. So just try and get as much soil into the pole as possible here. Maybe I'll take this leaf off as well. We don't need you. Like I said, I'm being scissor happy here. I am not worried about this plant in the slightest. And eventually I'll probably need to chop and extend again, because it's not like super far off from the top of this pole already. And it does still kind of have, like, I did leave this gap, which, I mean, I suppose I probably could have chopped it there, but I feel like this leaf is really nice. So it'd be a shame to chop it and like lose this leaf. Whereas, because that's like a join between two different poles as well. And I mean, eventually, what would be really cool, if it wasn't so ridiculously difficult, would be as if I took this guy off of this pole and was able to put it on this one, which I have done that before ages and ages ago with a philodendron, my glorious. I did like a huge surgery sort of thing, and that worked well. But because the monstera dubia is so like rooty, it like really, it grabs on from not even just the nodes, from like all over along the stem. It just wouldn't, it just wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to like take it out and put it in something new, if that makes sense. So it just isn't a doable thing. Maybe eventually I can like chop this one and take a second cutting and pot it in the bottom of this. That could happen potentially. And I could get more plant that way, have it be two going up one moss pole instead of just having the one. But I feel like with the dubia, it's totally fine that if it's just one like plant, it's not really like the end of the world. Whereas I feel like some plants, they look funny if they're not like properly flushed out on their moss pole. But it might just be because of the size of the leaves, because the size of the leaves on this one are quite large. It doesn't look as weird. Whereas I feel like with the Florida Ghost, it would look so strange if it was just one going up a pole this size. It would just look really empty. But maybe that's just the difference between monsteras and philodendron. These just tend to be slightly more dense almost. And now this is a much more manageable size. It's not like ridiculously gigantic anymore, which is useful. Okie doke. There we go. All done there. You stand on your own? Briefly, probably. So yeah, that is the end of my scissor happy, fun chopping up plants time. I hope you enjoyed doing this with me, hanging out with me while I made these chops. It always makes it easier to do big chops like this when I have y'all with me. I feel like y'all are my emotional support in this situation. And I have my fingers crossed for everything here, that it'll all do really well. I know my dubia will be fine, but my sort of crystallinum and Florida Ghost, hopefully those things will come back with a vengeance and we'll be able to have them be a bit better in my collection, because before they were leaving something to be desired, and now hopefully we will get what we desire. So I will keep you updated on all of these. Before I go though, I want to say a huge thank you to the newest member of my Good Growing fam over on Patreon, Karen. Thanks for joining in. I hope you love it over there and you enjoy all the bonus content and like live chats and access to the Discord server, all that sort of fun stuff. If anyone else is interested in joining, it is £3 a month, and for that you get all of the things. You can think about it as buying me a cup of coffee each month, or like running one of my grow lights or something, helping keep my collection alive and well. The link is down below in the description if you're interested. If you're not, that's totally okay too. Anyways, thank you so much for being here and watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future. Let me know which propagation you think is going to do best, and subscribe for more. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to keep growing. Bye!